A team of researchers collecting samples from a landfill notices something strange. The plastic bottles they're studying are disappearing faster than they should. Not breaking down into smaller pieces like normal plastic degradation, but actually vanishing. When they look closer, they find microscopic organisms literally eating the plastic. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. And the bacteria responsible have a name that sounds like it came from a lab manual: Comamonas testosteroni. But here's where it gets wild. Nobody engineered these bacteria. They evolved on their own. Think about that for a second. We've only been mass-producing plastic for about 70 years. In evolutionary terms, that's nothing. It's like the blink of an eye. Yet somehow, bacteria have already figured out how to eat it. And not just nibble at it over centuries like we expected. These microscopic organisms can break down PET plastics, the stuff in your water bottles, in just months. The numbers are staggering. Every year we produce 440 million tons of plastic waste. That's more than the weight of all humans on Earth combined. Most of it ends up in landfills or the ocean, where we thought it would sit for hundreds of years. But nature had other plans. Multiple research teams around the world are finding the same thing. From Japanese recycling facilities to American landfills, bacteria are evolving plastic digesting abilities independently. It's like watching evolution hit the fast-forward button. This kind of natural phenomenon creates the perfect story hook because it challenges everything we thought we knew. But wait, it gets better, or maybe worse, depending on how you look at it. A French company called Carbios saw what nature was doing and thought, we can do that faster. They've been working with these plastic-eating enzymes, supercharging them in the lab. And they're not just tinkering around in test tubes anymore. They're opening industrial-scale plants in 2025, full-blown factories where plastic goes in and useful materials come out, all thanks to bacteria. Meanwhile, other scientists are taking a different approach. They're engineering E. coli bacteria, the same stuff that lives in your gut, to not just eat plastic, but convert it into something useful. Imagine turning ocean garbage into valuable chemicals or even food additives. It sounds impossible, but they're already doing it in labs. The environmental impact could be revolutionary. Remember those horrifying predictions about plastic lasting forever? About microplastics in our blood and plastic islands the size of Texas? Well, nature might have just handed us a get-out-of-jail-free card. These bacteria could theoretically clean up decades of pollution in years instead of centuries. But here's where my mind starts racing. What happens when these plastic-eating organisms spread in the wild? And they will spread. That's what successful organisms do. Think about your daily life. How much of it depends on plastic lasting a long time? The pipes in your house, the insulation in your walls, medical devices, car parts, electronics? What happens when bacteria that eat plastic become as common as the bacteria that decompose wood? We might wake up one day to find our synthetic world literally dissolving around us. Your phone case getting soft and gooey, the dashboard in your car developing mysterious holes. It's not science fiction anymore. These organisms are real, they're multiplying, and they're getting better at their job. Scientists at the American Chemical Society are tracking how fast these bacteria spread and evolve. What they're finding is both exciting and terrifying. The bacteria aren't just eating one type of plastic. They're learning to digest different kinds, adapting their enzymes like a Swiss Army knife for polymers. The Washington Post investigation into this phenomenon revealed something even more intriguing. In areas with the highest plastic pollution, the bacteria are most advanced. It's like they're getting intensive training in the world's garbage dumps. The worse we make the problem, the faster nature develops the solution. This creates a fascinating paradox. We spend decades creating plastics specifically because they don't break down naturally. We wanted materials that would last forever. Now nature is undoing that plan, and we're not sure if we should be cheering or panicking. The industrial applications are moving faster than anyone expected. Carbios isn't alone. Companies in Japan, the United States, and China are all racing to commercialize plastic-eating bacteria. They're promising to revolutionize recycling, turning plastic waste into a resource instead of a problem. Current recycling methods are pretty terrible, let's be honest. Most plastic can only be recycled once or twice before it becomes useless, and the process requires tons of energy and often produces toxic byproducts. But biological recycling? The bacteria do all the work. They break plastic down to its basic components, which can be used to make new plastic or other materials. It's true circular economy stuff. Environmental Science and Technology Journal published research showing these biological recycling methods use 50% less energy than traditional recycling. They also produce fewer greenhouse gases. It's like nature designed the perfect solution to our plastic problem. But what does this mean for you? Well, in the next few years, you might start seeing products labeled as bio-recycled. Your next phone case might have been a water bottle that was eaten by bacteria and rebuilt into something new. The yogurt container in your fridge could become tomorrow's running shoes. The safety questions are real, though. We're talking about releasing organisms specifically designed to destroy materials we depend on. Nature Biotechnology covered studies on controlling these bacteria, making sure they only eat plastic where we want them to. Scientists are working on genetic switches, ways to turn the plastic-eating ability on and off. Some researchers are more cautious. They point out that we've seen this movie before. Species introduced to solve one problem, creating 10 new ones. What if plastic-eating bacteria evolve beyond our control? What if they start eating plastics we don't want them to touch? There's also the philosophical question nobody's really talking about. If bacteria can evolve to eat plastic in just 70 years, what does that say about our impact on the planet? We've literally changed the course of evolution. We've created new food sources that never existed before, and life found a way to exploit them. The optimists see this as proof that Earth can heal itself, that nature always finds a way. The pessimists worry we're playing with forces we don't understand. Both might be right. What's certain is that the age of eternal plastic is ending. Whether through engineered bacteria in recycling plants or wild organisms in landfills, plastic is becoming biodegradable. The question isn't if this will change our world, but how fast and in what ways. The next time you throw away a plastic bottle, remember it might not be there as long as you think. Somewhere, microscopic organisms are evolving, adapting, preparing to feast on our waste. They're nature's cleanup crew, arriving just when we need them most, or maybe just when they need us most. What do you think about plastic-eating bacteria? Are they the solution we've been waiting for, or a new problem we don't yet understand? The plastic pollution crisis might have an unexpected ending, not through human ingenuity alone, but through a partnership with the smallest organisms on Earth. We created the problem, but we might not have to solve it alone. Nature, as always, has its own plans. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.